Hey guys, I'm Claire Manning and welcome back to my channel. I'm coming back to you here today with another card making video, and I'm going to use some embossing powders along with one of our brand new stamp sets that's launching this Friday the 14th of August as part of our Fragrance Blooms collection. So this is like a collection of stamps with perfume bottles and these lovely flowers that come out the top. It comes with an A5 set of stamps and coordinating dies. So you've got dies not just for the flowers and the perfume bottles, but these cute ones for these kind of label sentiments as well, which look really cool on the perfumes. So there's 3 perfume sets. This one is kind of more traditional, I guess, more kind of old-fashioned vase shape perfume set. The other 2 are a little bit more modern, but of course you can adjust them depending on how you're colouring up. So I've stamped them in our Luminosity embossing ink and embossed them with the Midnight powder that's also new, and it's a sparkly glittery navy blue with really fine glitter. So you can see not all embossing powders would cope with stamping such a fine image like those flowers, but it works perfectly. Next I'm using this notebook die from the Just a Note set, and I want to make this like a tea stained old piece of ripped paper where I've got some words on there as well. So I'm stamping some of the sentiments. This one's with All My Heart that comes in the set too, but of course you could do this technique with any of your sentiments that you've got at home. So I'm stamping it first and second generation in this very pale grey, and then to kind of distress it up and make it that kind of tea stained old look, I'm using a ink based dye first, just to get a really pale colour all the way around the edge, and it gives those decal edges a really nice finish, and those lovely bits where it looks like it's been torn out of a notebook. This is definitely one of my favourite new die sets. I know I'm going to be able to use it again and again in loads of different situations. So that's given a pale, and then I'm going in with a slightly darker Distress Oxide or Distress Ink, whichever you've got, and just going in and getting some more slightly defined detail around those torn edges. And I like the fact that you can kind of manipulate these extra bits to really give that kind of oldie worldy finish. So that part's done. So I've got my flowers cut out, my sentiment. Now I need to stamp and die cut out the perfume bottle itself. Now there is a lid to this perfume bottle in each of the sets. This one, it comes separately, so you can use it where you don't want to use the flowers, maybe for a female that's not particularly a floral person, or a guy, and it could be an aftershave bottle instead. I'm stamping onto vellum because I want it to look like that kind of frosted glass look, and I've just heat set the ink that I've used just to make sure it doesn't smudge before I die cut. And that outer die then just goes exactly round that hand-drawn image. So while that's going through my die cutting machine, I've used the Wildflowers background stamp, which is a full 5x7 background stamp, and I've stamped and embossed it in the Gold Digger embossing powder from our Luminosity range. Do check out the new shows on Friday as well, because we've got some brand new colours coming to Create and Craft, and they're really fun and bright. So now I've got the vellum vase. I think I want to have that pop out a little bit more. It's looking like it's getting a bit lost there. So I decided to cut out another outline of the vase from navy blue, and I'm going to use that to layer and make that perfume bottle really stand out, and those flowers are going to go on the top. So I think I've pretty much got all the elements I need. It's just about deciding whether I'm going to put them, and I really want to add a bit of colour to those flowers just to make those pop a little bit more as well. So I'm going to very quickly, I've sped this bit up, just go in with some blues and greens just to give a very loose watercolory look. I'm not really doing much shading or blending or anything here. I just want to pop some colour down. Very slightly lighter at the edge of the petals. You'll see I've got more water on my brush. But there's tons of other videos, watercolouring videos, if you want to check out my techniques. I'm not a trained artist by any means. It's just a bit of practice, and I've got used to what works well for me for cards. But like I say, I've got no art qualifications or anything like that, so I just practice and do what I find easy and gives me the kind of looks I want from my cards and paper craft. So a bit of blue on the flowers, just working it in while it's still a bit wet, and then a bit of green. I've got a bit of grey here, so that kind of goes well with that colour theme. So I've got navies, I've got the gold in the background, I've got that kind of distressed blue, so it's a real kind of vintagey, shabby, chicy look card for me, which is a little bit different, but I thought it went really well with the more old-fashioned look of this particular perfume bottle. The other one is there's like a round bottle with a different set of flowers and a square rectangular one with another set of flowers, so you can get actually 3 really different looks from those sets. In fact, more than 3 looks. You could get loads of different ones, which I'll be demonstrating over the next week or 2. So I'm popping that notebook piece in the corner and just giving a bit of texture to those edge pieces, and then layering up the perfume and the flowers. Just using a tiny bit of wet glue where my ink is, so you shouldn't really see it once it's dry then. Only needs a tiny bit to hold it in place. And then there's a solid piece in all these perfume sets as well, which you can use for coloured ink or embossing powder to make it look like the perfume that's in your bottle. In this particular case, I'm going to use just glue to stamp that, and then put loose glitter on. So there's loads and loads of different ways to use this solid piece and make it look like you've got some really fun and interesting textures for the perfume in the bottle. So give it a bit of a squeege and that will stamp out for you. And then I'll put just some whitey iridescent loose glitter. But like I say, try experiment with embossing powders, inks, watercolours, pens. There's loads of different techniques that you can do with that. Now I'm just layering on the flowers. Now that watercolour is dry. I want that to pop up slightly, so I'm using some foam pads for this. And I love how those flowers kind of cascade down the bottle. Again, those flowers are hand drawn. And then just the label on the perfume bottle that I'm going to tuck underneath. Final thing for this card, I think, is just some gems. I've just got some clear ones just to bring it all together and add to that vintagey look. Just pop those in place. So like I say, there'll be tons of videos this coming week running up to the shows on Friday the 14th, showing you hopefully as many of the different products as I can. I know I didn't show the embossing actual process during this one because I just wanted it more to be about building the card together with the perfume sets, but there are tons of videos on watercolouring, on embossing, all those kind of things, so do check out my other videos while you're here. I hope you enjoyed that. and I will see you next time.